I came back from a 3-day business trip expecting to pull into my driveway, unlock the front door, and drop my suitcase in the hallway of my mountain home. Instead, I found nothing but rubble. My $3.2 million house, gone. Dust still hung in the evening air, drywall fragments scattered like confetti across the yard. A demolition crew was loading debris into trucks, and in the middle of it all stood Margaret White, clipboard in hand, grinning like she'd just unwrapped the best present of her life. "Oh, and honey, we had to demolish your property for unpaid fines," she chirped, her voice bright, too bright. "Unpaid fines?" I never received a single notice. My gut twisted. Something was off. She waved a stack of official-looking papers in my face, but while she was playing Queen of the Ruins, my eyes caught something half buried in the debris. A prescription bottle. Orange plastic, white label, dated 6 months ago. The name, Michael Thompson. Anxiety medication, prescribed by a Denver clinic. Not mine. Not anyone I knew. When Margaret saw it in my hand, her expression snapped from glee to panic. For a split second, her mask slipped. Then she recovered, babbling something about medical waste disposal. Since when did HOA presidents handle medical waste? Why had this bottle been hidden in my basement? And why did she know the name on it? I demanded documentation. She shoved a thick folder at me. Letters on professional letterhead, violation notices, even an emergency demolition order. But as I flipped through the pages, my pulse hammered harder. The addresses were wrong. The county signatures were forged. One document even placed me in Sacramento, California. I'd been in Colorado for years. My house had passed inspection only 3 months earlier, yet the paperwork declared it structurally unsafe. When I asked about the $40,000 she claimed I owed, Margaret's smile hardened into a threat. Pay the fines or face additional enforcement. My phone was already recording, capturing her nervous fidgeting as I photographed every fake document. I pocketed the prescription bottle, ignoring her protests. If she wanted it back, she could explain why it had been in my house. Neighbors confirmed my suspicions. An elderly woman pulled out a shoebox of receipts, 3 years of monthly HOA fees Margaret had collected. A veteran next door showed me letters threatening fines for parking his own truck in his own driveway. A single mother confessed she'd paid $1,500 because her kids' bicycles were left in the backyard. Every story carried the same thread: intimidation, fake violations, escalating demands. Margaret had been running a massive fraud, preying on people too tired or afraid to fight. But the bottle gnawed at me. Michael Thompson. Who was he? Why was his medication in my basement? A neighbor squinted at the name. Wasn't that Margaret's son? That was the crack in the wall. Digging deeper, I learned she'd once had a son named Michael White, a doctor, proud and brilliant, until he vanished a decade ago. Some whispered he'd disappointed her. Others said she'd disowned him. Days later, I found him. Dr. Michael Thompson, pediatrician in Denver. When I finally got him on the phone, his voice trembled with guilt and fear. He admitted the truth. He was Margaret's son, and he'd been hiding in my vacant house at night. He'd left the bottle there months ago. I wanted to see her, he confessed. After 10 years, I thought maybe she'd changed. But I wasn't ready to face her. That basement was my safe space. The words sank in like ice. My home hadn't just been demolished. Margaret had destroyed the one place her estranged son felt safe enough to hope for reconciliation. From that moment, Margaret escalated. She launched a smear campaign online, fake accounts accusing me of corruption and vandalism. My car was vandalized, utilities mysteriously shut off, fake legal threats stuffed into my mailbox. But every attack revealed more of her desperation. With help from neighbors, I formed a network, an underground alliance. We shared documents, photos, videos, every scrap of evidence. We gave ourselves code names: Sentinel, Sunshine, Phoenix. Together, we tracked her moves and dismantled her lies. Michael joined me. His courage grew with each conversation. She tried to control everything when I was a kid, he said. My friends, my choices, my life. When I came out as gay, she lost control, and she never forgave me. One evening, we staged a confrontation. Cameras hidden, neighbors watching. Michael walked up her driveway carrying a box of old family photos. Margaret's face froze when she saw him. Her son, standing there after 10 years, holding proof of the family they once were. I came back because I still love you, Mom, he said, voice steady. But what you've done to this community is wrong. It has to stop. For a moment, her mask cracked again. Pain flickered across her face. But then she spotted the cameras. Her voice sharpened, shrill with rage. "This is harassment. You're all trespassing on HOA property." But her authority crumbled when I stepped forward and laid my county commissioner ID on the table for everyone to see. Margaret's smirk evaporated. She hadn't demolished just anyone's house. She'd demolished the house of a government official with direct oversight over HOA fraud. The room turned against her. Her fake board members abandoned her. Neighbors testified. The prescription bottle was presented. Michael told the truth of his rejection, his new life, and the safe space she had destroyed. By the time the police led Margaret away in handcuffs, the control she'd clung to for years was gone. Her trial was brutal. 47 charges. Wire fraud, elder abuse, destruction of property. Former accomplices testified. Financial records traced hundreds of thousands of stolen dollars into gambling sites and luxury purchases. Victims filled the courtroom, recounting fear, humiliation, and loss. The most powerful moment came when Michael himself took the stand, holding up the bottle. "I left this in Mr. Hayes' basement while trying to work up the courage to reconnect with my mother. She demolished his house knowing it was there. She destroyed my last chance at reconciliation." The jury didn't hesitate. Guilty on all counts. Margaret was sentenced to 8 years in federal prison. But the story didn't end with her conviction. The lot where my house once stood became the foundation for something greater, a community center, funded by donations from across the country. Neighbors who had once been victims picked up hammers, painted walls, and built a place of healing and empowerment. At the entrance, inside a glass case, stood the prescription bottle with a plaque. "From secrets to healing, truth transforms communities." National media attention turned our small neighborhood scandal into a rallying cry for HOA reform. Laws were drafted. Fraud investigations expanded across multiple states. Victims found their voices. And slowly, we began to trust each other again. Years passed. Margaret served 4. She returned to the neighborhood not as a predator, but as a volunteer. She worked with seniors, protecting them from real scams this time. Michael forgave her, cautiously, painfully, and introduced her to his husband and their daughter. Their dinners were awkward, but genuine. Healing didn't erase the past, but it reshaped the future. And me? I still stand sometimes in the community garden that replaced my house, staring at the flowers blooming where rubble once lay. I think about the night I found that bottle, a symbol of fear, rejection, and broken family ties. Now it's a symbol of survival, justice, and second chances. Margaret once believed control was the only way to keep her world intact. In trying to enforce her authority, she demolished everything: her neighbor's trust, her son's love, even my home. But from that destruction came something stronger: a community reborn, a family mended, and a truth too powerful to bury in rubble.